it's all about. Every chance you'll ever take, running down this rainbow road. Every dragon heart you break, every hand you'll ever hold. Every time you really see where you are is where you'll be. The sky will shine tonight, up in the stars. That's where you are. Up in the stars. That's where you are. That's where you are. That's where you are. Up in the stars. That's where you are. That's where you are. Up in the stars. That's where you are. Up in the stars. That's where you are. That's where you are. Up in the
the Boscov's Concourse. Hello everybody, welcome to Erie, Pennsylvania, welcome to the Millcreek Mall. My goodness, I am so happy to present this video to you guys. There's a reason I mentioned the Boscov's Concourse, by the way. Boscov's, if you know anything about me and my channel, I love that store. I was so excited when they announced they were opening this store here back in 2018. You may have seen the videos I've done at this store, and I have a friend that works at this store. I love it. Nothing I could ever say bad about the place. But anyway, welcome to the mall. I know the title says Millcreek Township, and that's technically because the mall is in Millcreek Township, which kind of wraps around the southern side of downtown Erie. It's located right on Interchange Road, aka PA Route 99, which connects Interstate 79 to US Route 19, aka Peach Street. This is just an absolutely beautiful mall. I know there's not a whole lot of aesthetics here, but for me, this is one of my favorites. The vibes here and the energy is all positive and good. I've never had a bad experience at this mall. I love how full the mall is. It's always busy. And, well, I'll explain to you why it's my favorite. As someone who lives and grew up in Pittsburgh, Anytime I can take a trip to Erie means a lot to me. It's always very exciting and very fun. And it goes all the way back to my earliest days. You know, we have a family tradition of getting together at the end of July for Discover Presque Isle weekend. A family reunion, basically, where we get to see a bunch of family relatives and even family friends that we don't normally get to see that often. And it's always a lot of fun. And going back to my earliest days when my parents would drive me up there, we would always stop at the mall. And every time I'd walk in this mall, even before the update around 2008, I was always excited because of all the stores, the positive energy, and the positive vibes. And I knew that I'm just a few miles away from my favorite place in all of Pennsylvania, Presque Isle State Park, and Erie in general. And every time I go to this mall, I always have a great experience. It's always busy. They have a lot of stores that I can actually shop at, including FYE. And, you know, shout out to them, by the way, for having a relatively decent heavy metal selection, or at least they did. But anyway, it's always a great time. And Boscov's, shout out to the Boscov's. I'm so happy they're there. I love that store. And not to mention, I actually have a couple of friends that work at the mall, including the Boscov's, the Permani brothers, which, by the way, is celebrating their 90th anniversary of business. Even though the Permanis in Erie is new, congrats. Awesome job, guys. Love you guys. Can't wait to be there again. And I also have a friend that works at the seasonal store, Spirit Halloween. So anytime I visit this mall, and it's multiple times a year, it's always a very positive thing for me. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk about the history of the Millcreek Mall. The Millcreek Mall is much more than just a shopping mall. It's its own business district, essentially. You may have noticed in the outside shots that I was filming much more than just the mall itself. That's because the complex consists of the several plazas, several restaurants, a grocery store, and several hotels. And you may have noticed the Christmas tree shops, which at that time was closing, and I did a video. They have since closed for good, unfortunately. And you may have noticed the At Home, which was an old Hills department store, and then Ames. It wasn't Hills for very long before becoming Ames, which closed in 2002. You may have noticed the old Cinemark theaters there, too. The old Cinemark Theater, which is now Elevate Church, has been a church since 2015, but prior to that, it used to be the Millcreek Cinema 6 since 1988, and it was nicknamed the Dollar Theater since the showing of movies tickets were very cheap and affordable. In 1994, Cinemark took over, renaming it Cinemark Theater 6. However, in 2012, it relocated to Peach Street for a much bigger building. Now, the other puzzling thing is the fact that if you were paying attention, you would have noticed that there were two different Dick's Sporting Goods locations. Well, the fun fact is that they were relocating from their original spot and relocating over into the old Bon-Ton store for a much bigger store, and with the access of having practice facilities, training facilities there as well. And it just opened as of the middle of the month. And, well, from what I understand, people are very happy with it, and it brings the mall back to having every anchor filled. Another interesting fact is that the mall complex has had more than one grocery store. It has a Giant Eagle currently and has for a good number of years, but the original grocery store on the complex was Loblaws back as far as 1975 until around 1990 or so. I might be off by a couple of years. Anyway, they were the original store there. Giant Eagle continues to be the top grocery store at the complex, even though there's a really wonderful Wegmans right up Peach Street from the mall. Anyway, I mentioned 1975. The mall opened up on November 9th of that year and was developed by the Youngstown, Ohio-based Cafaro Company, who continued to own and operate it. Due to Pennsylvania's lack of sales tax on clothing, the mall attracts many visitors from Ohio, New York, and especially Canada. The mall proper houses 121 store spaces with 12 kiosks. The 165 stores and restaurants that often get cited include the stores within the physical mall and the peripheral restaurant stores, strip plazas, etc. The mall is anchored by Boscov's, JCPenney, Macy's, and as I just mentioned, the brand new Dick's Sporting Goods. As you see here is the Primanti Brothers I was mentioning, one of my favorite restaurants to ever go to. So glad they have one at the mall. And it's down this little hallway, which the mall has a couple of. And that includes the Guitar Center, which is right down this little corridor here, which leads to the outside. Either way, it's very beautiful. Love this place. Love the energy here. But if you have ever noticed or heard of urban legend, there is one little thing about this mall which seems to be too coincidental. With the combination of anchors and the corridors within it, the mall appears to look like a handgun, and it's aimed at downtown Erie when viewed from above. There's a Google Earth view of it right there. It's led to some controversy in some cases, which has resulted in the urban legend, which states the mall was intentionally built that way under the direction of the mafia. And further on that is that I heard it was aimed at the county building. I hope that's not true. I think it's just coincidence. Don't know. You be the judge of that. Alright, now that we're all uncomfortable, let's get back into the history of the place. I mentioned in the driving portion that this mall is 2,200,000 square feet in size. It is the 14th largest shopping mall in the United States and the 3rd largest in Pennsylvania. The mall's original anchors here included Boston Store, Hall's, if I said that correctly, might be Hallie's, JCPenney, Kaufman's, Carlisle's, and Sears. Boston Store became Horne's in 1979, which in turn closed and became Lazarus in 1994. Lazarus closed in 97. Hall's or Hallie's later became Dahlkemper's catalog showroom, which closed in 1993. Its space became Burlington Coat Factory. Homeplace took over the former Carlisle's location after Carlisle's closure in 1995. Elder Beerman took over the former Lazarus in 1998, but was converted just 5 years later to the Bon-Ton. After Homeplace closed, its space was divided between Stephen Barry's and A.C. Moore. The former closed in 2009, and the latter in 2020. And since then, A.C. Moore has now been the home of Spirit Halloween every fall. Kaufman's was converted into Macy's in September of 2006, and Burlington Coat Factory moved out of the mall in late 2012. In 2014, the space that was occupied by Burlington was split into 6 spaces that now house Primanti Brothers, Mad Mex Restaurant, and a Round 1 Entertainment Arcade, and a Guitar Center. The 2 other spaces are still vacant as of now with no future plans. The area of the mall was also renamed the Promenade, with an entrance of its own. And I love the Promenade. On March 27th, 2008, hey, the day after my birthday, it was announced that the mall would receive a multi-million-dollar renovation. Among the new additions to the mall were the children's area, the food court, which you now see here, and the renovated entrance to the building. It also got skylights, porcelain floors, a new west side entrance, and new parking lot lights. The food court, which you're looking at right now, opened up in late 2008. And you know, this is one of those food courts that I really like. It's wide open, you have plenty of options. Yeah, you have a vacancy or two, but you have plenty of options. But what I think is interesting is at the end of it is the FYE store, which we're walking towards now. And across from it are multiple other tenants, including a tattoo shop which took over an old Subway restaurant, which I happened to eat at and thought the food was okay, But I like the tattoo shop idea more. I just need to go in there and get one done and support local business. As you enjoy some shots of the food court, let me make a note of the maintenance people and cleaning crew here that do a stellar job to keep this place clean. This has to be one of the cleanest malls I've ever seen. You very rarely find a dirty table, and when you do, it gets cleaned promptly. Even the bathrooms aren't too bad here, I will say. Always feel welcome, always feel safe, and that I can enjoy a meal and a shopping adventure each and every time I'm at the Millcreek Mall. And as we trek back through the food court, I will mention another store that I like to visit, which is Heartland Pets. Right by the food court, they have lots of puppies, even kitties, and other animals such as fish, guinea pigs, rodents, you name it. And, you know, the vibes there are very good. I've heard speculation and rumors of it being a puppy mill shop. I want to hope that that's not true, as when I'm there, the animals look very well taken care of, happy, and they allow you to interact with them, and adoptions do happen on the norm. And the people that work there are very friendly. But notice this Macy's entrance? How about this one? That's not all. There are 3 Macy's entrances to this place. There's the third. Yeah, never seen a mall with 3 Macy's entrances, but that's just me. We're back here in the promenade section of the mall, which is just beautiful, by the way, and a lot of the busiest stores are located right here. Over here is another one of those little corridors that lead to outside with a couple of businesses in it. Anything to take up room, create business, and support people with jobs and local economy. I love it. Have no complaints. Alright, getting back into more history of Millcreek Mall. I mentioned earlier that Boscov's opened here in 2018. It was actually October 5th of 2017 when they took over the Sears, which closed as part of, at the time, Sears Holdings struggles and bankruptcy that would happen 1 year later. Since then, Transform Co. is now the lead operator of Sears and Kmart, and they're basically extinct at this point. On October 18th of 2017, it was announced that Round 1 Entertainment would open in the mall. It opened the following year in the summer. Now, Round 1 Entertainment provides a very awesome family experience with a bowling alley, arcade games, and much more. It's great for the family and anyone you want to invite, your friends, anyone. It's a great place. Expensive, yeah, but a lot of fun. On January 31st, 2018, it was announced that the regional division Bonton would be closing its location here at the mall, and it would end up being the Dick's Sporting Goods here in 2023, as I mentioned. Now, with that said, in February, they announced that they would be relocating from their former location to go into the old Bonton and have a much bigger store and training facilities, etc. I'm glad. It brings the mall back to having all of its anchors filled once again. Now, focusing our attention to the outside of the mall, the Millcreek Mall Pavilion consists of several stores including Ross Dress for Less, Home Goods, Michaels, Five Below, Carter's, Ulta Beauty, Vertical Jump Park, DSW Shoes, and more. It's also known for the numerous restaurants outside, including Max and Irma's, Smoky Bones, Outback Steakhouse, Red Lobster, Starbucks, Buffalo Wild Wings, Cold Stone Creamery, which I really like. They've always been really good there. Ice cream is very tasty. Arby's, and there's even a Japanese steakhouse, which is in the former Chi-Chi's. A Homewood Suites, Town Place Suites, and a Fairfield also sit on the property. The former Blair store, originally a Children's Palace toy store, has been converted into the Erie Institute of Technology, which you may have seen in the driving portion. The Hills and Ames became an all-seasons marketplace and flea market before it became At Home. And Cinema 6, which is the Elevate Church. I could go on, but it would take me all day to explain everything at the mall. I really hope you enjoyed it. I know I blabbered a lot, but I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to give the video a thumbs up, and if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to the channel for more content if you would like to. And I'll see you next time, everybody. Take care and stay awesome, and enjoy this classic, cheesy commercial from the mall. Bye-bye.
So, you want me to finance this recovery of yours, eh, Chris?
That's discovery.
Ah, whatever. Here, take these.
Ooh.
And buy what you need to finance your exhibition.
That's expedition.
Go discover new worlds for me, Chris.
The sailing went smoothly until they landed on safe shores.
Land ho! Look, Indians.
Hey, where'd you get all the great stuff?
You're out of good wish, you're out of good luck, you're out of good night.
They returned to their ship for a peaceful journey home.
What'd you get? What'd you get? What'd you get?
Your Majesty, I bring you the world.
Now, that's what I call an exhibition.
Thanks once again for watching, everybody. I really hope you enjoyed. If you'd like to see this mall video without any commentary, feel free to go over to Patreon. You can do so by contributing as little as $1 a month, and you'll see exclusive content. Thanks again, everybody. Stay awesome. Love you guys. Bye-bye.